Good morning, Kevin Porter, Rabbit Hole Farm, Newark. But this doesn't look like the farm. No, this is the Rabbit Hole classroom, at least for today. So what we're going to do is talk about self-care for the winter. And we're coming from an Ayurvedic perspective. For you that want to gather more information on this, it's always online. Or you can call up and ask Sorelli. Disclaimer, we are not doctors. We're just people that have gained experience from traveling around the country, around the world. And so here we are. Here we go. Arelas Hernandez.
Okay, so hi everyone. So like Kevin said, like this information that we're going to be discussing here, we're not intending to diagnose or trick anybody. It's just for educational purpose only. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about self-care over the winter. And to us, self-care translates into how is your immune system. So we're going to talk a lot about like different things that it can be done to keep your immune system strong, so that way you prevent getting sick, or if you get sick, your body is strong enough that you can fight it up, basically, that you're able to fight it up. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about self-care over the winter is that we don't start in the winter. We have to start before the winter. Okay, so we start in the fall, preparing for the winter. So right now it's still fall because official winter is not until December 21st. However, it is already cold. So we usually start preparing for the cold weather. And usually beginning of October, mid-October. So that's the time that we start preparing. So today we want to share what are the different things that we do during that time to start changing the body and preparing the body for the cold weather, the winter time. Okay, so the first thing and most important thing that we follow is diet. There's a saying that let thy medicine be thy food and be thy food be thy medicine. Okay, so we take that very seriously, especially at Rabbit Hole, because we grow most of the things that we eat. But then at the same time, like we don't really separate medicine and food because they're basically one and the same. So that's one of the most important things when you come preparing yourself for the cold weather or the change of season. Okay, so in the fall we start moving from cold food. That during the summer you can be eating salad, you can be eating avocado, coconut oil, a lot of fruits and things like that, like raw food. So in the fall we start preparing the body already to start receiving the more cooked food, warm. Then already reducing the amount of fruits and veggies. And I don't want to reducing, but more into them now cooking, making sure things are cooked, warm. We focus on then what are the food that I helpful for detoxing. So for example, okra. Okra is very good for detoxing because okra is slimy. So we try to include more of those slimy food like okra, locust squash, taro root, tapioca or yuca. Also leafy green like kale that are also detoxing, moringa. What else do we? Bitter melon, like Rabbit Hole at the end of the summer, beginning of fall, it will give us so much bitter melon, and then I said that's because it's trying to get us to transition from the hot weather to the cold weather. Okay, so that's the first thing that we have to do. Look at our diet, okay, and start working on changing our diet, okay. Then, when we work on the diet, we then focus, okay, now we need a gentle detox, okay, or a gentle cleanse. Back in the day, our ancestors, they used to do frequent detox or cleansing, like I know at least on my part, my Dominican ancestors, they used to have a lot of like use of enemas and laxative and things like that to keep themselves healthy. Because back in the day, they didn't have access to the modern medical system, so they had to take their own health on their own hands. So practice of enemas and laxative, it was a common practice. So the fall is a time for that, for us to look, okay, what are the different ways that I'm changing my diet now, then also what else can I include to help my body detox from the summer to prepare the body then to transition into the cold weather or the winter cold weather. Okay, so what are the different gentle detox that we can talk about? Like I mentioned, laxative, could be enema, could be another one. Nasal irrigation to clean your nostrils. Adapting a vegetarian or a vegan diet for like a week or two, whatever, until you feel like, okay, my body is feel lighter or what you're looking for. How you pronounce that word?
More mucusless diet, definitely, because some summer habits like cold drinks, ice cream, whipped cream, all these things, cold milk, these things produce mucus. And cheese, we want really kind of like, we really like to leave them out. Because if you catch a cold, these things will just produce more mucus in your body and it'll be hard for you to get rid of that cold. So just leave those heavy mucus forming things out of your diet, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a couple of months, you'll survive the winter. Yes.
So the other thing that some people do, and this I would suggest during the fall in that transition, and also for short term, and that's only because this is how Kevin and I will follow, is the juicing. Like I know a lot of people are into juicing. However, juicing can bring a lot of coldness into your body, and you don't want that in the winter. Okay, so it is good to do it at the end of the summer, beginning of fall, because at that time you have a lot of heat from the summer. So you can do like a week of juicing or things like that, or including more juicing in your diet. Once the summer comes, juicing is on the cold side, so that's something that you have to maybe change to soup, to a stew, like more warming and food to keep your body warm, to be able to keep your immune system like on check. Okay. So, and then the other thing that we need to be aware is that removing the sugars in processed food. And what do we mean by sugar? Like white sugar in particular, or corn, high fructose corn syrup. Corn syrup.
Again, that's mucus forming. So again, sugar, very toxic, very mucus forming. If you're going to deal with sugar, we suggest not. Go organic. Great sugar substitutes are honey, not heated, warm. Maple syrup, molasses. It's so many things. You could take dry fruits, soak them, and then blend them. So it's very easy to avoid the sugars. You know. So.
Yes. So, but white sugar is very toxic as well as white flours. Like those, I think that we really need to check on, because then our body gets saturated with those things, and then the immune system get compromised basically. Same thing with the oils. We have to look into what type of oil we put in the body. Oil, especially for the winter, are very, very important. And when I'm talking about oil, I'm talking about healthy oils. Okay, so extra virgin olive oil, maybe sesame seed oil, like a good quality. I know some people use avocado oil as well. If you are not vegan, then you can go for organic butter or ghee, organic ghee, like very high quality fat, because that's going to keep your body lubricated, because that's very, very important also throughout the winter. The winter is dry. Like if we go outside, it's cold and dry. When we come into our space, the house or the apartment, the heat is on, so it's going to be dry. It's going to be warm, but it's going to be very dry. So you want to make sure that you lubricate your skin, and try to go natural. Try to go like some type of natural oil or shea butter, cocoa butter, like that, to keep yourself lubricated throughout the winter. And then also internally, like with good oils. Okay. Also check not too much the salt. Like a lot of people use just the plain white salt that they sell. So try to go for sea salt, pink salt, like a salt that will have more mineral. We use
Celtic sea salt. Celtic sea salt is good. It's gray. It's somewhat moist and wet. It's real salt.
yes.
You know.
Okay, so instead of saying just cut it out, no, just try to substitute for something healthier. You know, because you want to make sure that your food also tasting is still tasting good. Okay, so let me see what. So we're talking about changing your diet according to the change of season, then doing a gentle detox. Okay, so you prepare your body by following like a more appropriate diet with the change of season, and then doing a detox, whatever you choose to do for you. I know that they also sell some herbal detoxes, like for example, dandelion is a herb that people use for detoxing. You can combine that with marshmallow root, which is a lubricating, so it helps to bind the toxic and send it out. The food that we talked about, the okra, the loki, the taro, the tapioca, all the foods are like binding toxic and take them out. Okay, so it's a combination. It's moving, moving with the change of season. Okay, so with that, we also need to talk about lifestyle changes. In the summer, we are in the go, doing a lot of things, travel, going here, going there. You know, it's light time, light daytime. It's still 8 o'clock, 9. But with the change of season, you see it's like getting darker and darker and darker. So in that showing like, okay, maybe we need to also slow down. Okay, with modern life is challenging because we have the, we have electricity, so we just continue going because we have the. But in nature, animals will start like slow down. They start hibernating. The bird will start flying south and things like that. So we need to look into those practices as well. Like how can I slow down? I don't need to stop because, like I cannot do like the bear.
Make a living. but that is it in itself. We are nature. We're part of nature. So we need to mimic that as best we can, and technology is fighting us every step of the way. Believe me. So in the wintertime, if you look at nature, it's kind of like drawing everything in. It's drawing itself in. It's drawing what it needs in. The squirrels have collected all the nuts. They're going in. The birds are hibernation. So that's our time to do likewise. We need to cut down on the activity that we're doing, not only outside, but even inside. Our friends, it can kind of like narrow them down a little bit. Bring everything in. Really set aside and be disciplined to set time aside for your meditation and some time for your asanas. Pick a few asanas that you like to do and be structured. Do them every day. Set 10, 15 minutes aside. You meditate every day. Certain practices like Jalaneti, maybe once a week, and your Abhyanga, which is a skin massage with a nice organic oil that you massage yourself with before you take your shower. Make this a practice. Find a good spiritual book to read that helps you go inside more. If you don't like reading, audio books, maybe you go on YouTube and pick out some inspiring spiritual story to look at that just to motivate you. And this is your battery charger, because you can't constantly run and run and run. You have to take time, just like nature. These plants go into the ground. They restore all this energy. Then they come up in the springtime, just like we will. We're going to come up in the springtime, and we're going to be stronger. We're going to be more vibrant, and you need to do this, especially for us, because we serve the community. You have to take care of yourself first before you serve other people. And if you talk about service, you have to service yourself in a good way.
Yes. So that's very important. The other part that I like to talk about, like on self-care, is the sleep. I call it sleep hygiene. So working on with sleep behaviors, habits. Habits. So basically, the way we do it here at Rabbit Hole is like 10 o'clock. Everybody has to be there. Okay, so like. In 10 to us is already approaching the late side, because if you go to bed at 10, you're not going to fall asleep until 10:30. For us, you should be sleeping by 10. So that's the way we do it. And why is that? Again, we're moving with nature. So we up during the day, and the body doing the thing during the day. So nighttime comes for the body to rest, body and brain to rest. So by 10 o'clock, if you're not into that resting mode, the body gonna go into another wave of energy. Then it's gonna be more difficult for you to fall asleep. So by 9:30, we're already getting ready to go to sleep. By 9:30, we try to be already in bed, and by 10, we out. And that help the liver detoxing. That help our brain rejuvenate. So it helps to keep the immune system stronger, to go to bed early and then sleeping during those hours. The other thing is try to stay away from technology before you go to bed, or taking technology out of your room. Like we keep the cell phone, anything Wi-Fi, we take it out of the room. We have our little iPad like with the airplane mode as an alarm next to our bed, but that's it. No TV, no nothing in the room, because all that stimulates the body, even though you don't really see it, but all that energy is stimulating the body in the sleeping time before resting, for the body to really rest. We get up also before the sun rise, so and that's gonna change. During the summer, the sun is up very early, so we get up early. So like now in the winter, it's still dark, so we stay in bed a little later. So we move with nature. We still move with nature. Eating before going to bed, like at least minimum 2 hours before you go to bed, because again, the liver needs time to detox. So if you eat and then go to bed, your body gonna be working on digestion instead of detoxing. Okay, so very important that you eat minimum 2 hours before you go to bed. We try to have it here is no more meal after 7 p.m. Okay, the last meal like before 7. And also something light, nothing heavy. Okay, if you're hungry, like let's say like you can make yourself like a cup of tea or a cup of something and drink it, like, because you don't want to go to bed hungry either, because it may be uncomfortable. What else regarding sleep? So technology, not doing anything like too exciting before going to sleep, because then again you're gonna be all excited. Okay, so trying to bring that energy down, and then your brain will be able to go to sleep.
And that's a good time. You could say, okay, I'm going to set aside 15 minutes before bedtime just to be in silence and meditate. And when I say meditate, it's nothing elaborate. You're just sitting quietly in a comfortable position. You set your time, you set your place. All the technology is off. And then you just sit there in silence and observe your breath in and out. That's it. And
it could be
it helps you get prepared to go to bed.
Yes. Okay. So those are basically the main things. So will be diet, gentle cleansing, and then what are the lifestyle habits. And we emphasize, put a lot of emphasis on the sleeping, and then moving with nature. Okay. So those are the points. So now we want to talk about some of the herbs that we try to really use during the winter, and these are herbs that we work with. So I know that some people use like reishi or turkey tail, different mushroom. However, because we don't work with mushrooms, so I decided, okay, let me not even mention them, even though they are very good for the immune system and things like that. Okay, but these are herbs that we work with, so I feel more comfortable talking about. Okay, so here we have the elderberries. Okay, and elderberry is very famous. I think everybody knows how good they are for the immune system. It's a preventative. People use it like the elderberry syrup, or you can use the this is like kind of like the elderberry syrup. It's an elixir, but it's similar to the syrup or the tincture. But elderberry as a preventative. Taking it like especially when you're out there like working with people, doing a lot of things to keep your immune system in check, strong. Okay, and this could be done throughout the winter, so it's a little long term that you can use it. Same thing here with astragalus. Astragalus is another like immune system protector, like it's a Chinese herb. It's a root. We don't grow this in rabbit hole. I usually buy organic. But this is also like a long term, so you can start taking it in the winter, like at the beginning of the winter, and then in the springtime, like maybe take a break. But it's one of the herbs that you can put in your food when you make soups. You can include the root there, or you can turn it into powder. I like to buy my herb whole, so that way I turn it into powder when I'm gonna use them. so that way they keep the energy, the medicine more. Okay, so estragla and elderberry, so those are two that immune modulate, I think that they call it, but it's good for the immune system to keep you strong through the winter. Another one is ashwagandha, and this ashwagandha here is Kevin's already powder that he used frequently. So ashwagandha is adaptogenic. Adaptogenic means that it's gonna help your body cope with stress. And as we all know, stress is very detrimental to the body, detrimental to the immune system. So we want to keep the stress like under control, let's say. So ashwagandha is a rejuvenating herbs as well. It's how you call it?
It's a nootropic. And I like this and Rama Holy Basil I use almost on a daily basis. I get lots of energy from the ashwagandha, the holy basil I mix together, and they're both for provide mental clarity, mental stability in the mind, especially during the winter time. And again, I like to say, with all these herbs, there are quite a bit of herbs here. A ton of information about, we can spend all day talking about this in each and every one, but we're giving you just the tip of the iceberg. But it's always good to do your own research. If you're going to take an herb, do the research, because even the information that you gather, it helps the herbs when you take them into your body, because you know what they're going to do, and your body is getting prepared for this change that's going to come about by using these herbs. So do the research. We're just giving you a little bit.
Yes. So the other one that we use, so I'm gonna talk about the one that you can probably turn long term, that you can take ongoing. So it will be turmeric. And this turmeric here is very special to me because this is grown by my family. My brother grows turmeric in Florida, and my sister grows in Guatemala. So it needs a different when you get your own turmeric going. I think it's also some of the turmeric that we grew in a rabbit hole here. So I made a mixture. Okay. So same thing. I try to keep them whole, and then when I'm gonna use them, I powder them. So, okay. So it's easy for that. Well, turmeric, like it's anti-inflammatory, help detox the liver, and it's very good for your brain as well. A few things about turmeric is that sometimes people would take the pill. So we use turmeric for cooking. That's the rabbit hole. Doesn't take powder turmeric like straight up. It's only for cooking. But we're using every meal that we make, and then also like very important to mix it with fat. So making sure that you put it in oil, and also like a pinch of black pepper helps in to get that energy, to get the medicine. Yeah, to absorb the medicine. Okay. So remember that. Okay. Use it for cooking. Put it in your food, like your soup, your when you saute, different things. Okay, turmeric. The other one, okay, so those are the ones that I feel from here that you can use ongoing. This here is oregano, and this in particular is Dominican oregano. Okay, what's the difference between oregano and Dominican oregano? I feel Dominican oregano is strong, like there, and already feeling that smell. So, and then oregano is very antibacterial, antiviral, antimicrobial, all this. So, I grew up in the Dominican Republic, and we cook meat, we cook a lot of things with this, okay? Mommy, no.
Let me get you.
Okay, be careful with yours, okay? Okay. Okay, but oregano, very antibacterial. So you can, something you can cook with it. You can burn it to clean the air in your house. You can make tincture out of it. You can put it in vinegar, put it in your salad dressing. So different things that you can use oregano as a food. If you use it as a tincture, because tinctures are very concentrated, I would not suggest it for long term. I would use it like for short term. If you're trying to fight up an infection, or you got sick and you want to use it, if you want to gargle with it because it's very antiseptic and things like that. But like for food, just a little bit for food, you can use it in your salad dressing, when you put it in your vinegar for your salad dressing, or cooking with it. Okay, so oregano. Okay, so that one, and then this is neem. So I decided to include neem. We don't grow neem in Rabbit Hole Farm. It's a tropical tree. My sister grows it in Florida, and then also I know in the DR grows very well. but it's from India, and it's a very bitter, let's call it tree, and the leaves are the part that I use. And but it's very very again, antimicrobial, antiviral, and all this thing. So I always make sure that I travel and I have neem in the house, because any little thing like goes okay, like a little infection with neem, like and then because it's bitter, you may think, oh, the bitter. But bitters and it's a taste that is very healthy for you. Neem it helps to purify the blood, so it's good for detoxing the blood, to detox the liver, to help the digestion and things like that. So I always try to have neem at hand. Okay. So I talked about this, and then we have here echinacea. Okay, and echinacea usually is using tincture. I'm gonna let her go. In tincture, and this is echinacea that we grew up in rabbit hole farm. But echinacea is one of the famous herbs that most people know about. Is has been researched a lot. It's for antiviral. Echinacea, one of the things that I like to let people know is that it's not a long-term use herb. Okay, so echinacea is like it stimulates your immune system to work better, but then you shouldn't be taking it for a long time.
Good morning, Kevin Porter, Rabbit Hole Farm, Newark, and this is our Fire Cider. And we're just taking it just for taking it. Usually Fire Cider you only take the moment you feel a little tickle in your throat or in your nose, or something doesn't feel right, you have a shot. This is a shot, no more than that. Okay, cheers.
Okay, so we're gonna do a quick demo of how to make fire cider. For the fire cider that we make here at Rabbit Hole Farm, the main ingredients are ginger, and fresh ginger, by the way. And if you can get all the thing organic, even better. Okay, but ginger, horseradish,
Onions,
red onion, and I'm gonna be specific. Here we use red onion,
and garlic.
And a pinch of cayenne pepper.
Cayenne.
Okay,
My favorite.
This is how we start. These are the base ingredient, and then you're gonna need organic raw, very important, raw apple cider vinegar, and honey. And again, honey, very important, raw. And if you can get it local, even better. So this is actually a raw local honey. Okay, so the way we go, we have all the ingredients already ready. So we put everything in the food processor. Okay. And actually, what I'm gonna start, I'm gonna chop this a little first. This is our part. Chop it, and then now you're gonna add the onion. There we go, and the garlic. Okay, so done. Then you don't want to pulverize them because the vinegar gonna cook them. Okay, so put it together. It should be strong enough. So it seems like gonna be a lot of, okay, so I can smell the horseradish.
Horseradish,
oh my goodness.
potent.
Okay, so once you put all the ingredients together, so it's not pulverized, okay, but it's well chopped. Chopped, okay.
Nice.
So now you bring it and put it in a jar, and I didn't think it was going to be so much, so I got a small jar, so we may have to, oh my goodness, my eyes.
Another jar.
Okay, so we put all the ingredients.
When working with horseradish, work in a well-ventilated area.
Yeah.
Because you'll be crying.
Okay, but the good thing with this is that this is also clearing our air. All this thing here, it's making me crying, but what does that mean? It means that the medicine is coming out and also cleaning the air. And a little bit my nostril probably gonna start running as well. Okay, so I'm gonna fill it up to the half, and we may have to get a bigger.
I think that's it.
No, I think we have enough room actually. So what we may have to do, oh my goodness, look at my eyes. Okay, so that's means that the things are very fresh, and then everything is there. Okay, so we're gonna put everything in here, all the garlic, the onion, everything. Okay, and then we're gonna fill it up, tap it with
Finish with this?
yeah, just leave it here. Okay, so now we're gonna tap it with
Apple cider vinegar.
Okay, so we're gonna
Raw.
add. So depending, like I don't have much tolerance for cayenne pepper, so you I like to add just a pinch just to give it the extra kick. Okay, so this is a quarter teaspoon. Oh. Okay, so we add it. We bring it to the top. Leave a little room. Bring the top. Make sure it's tight. Shake it so all the ingredients get together. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Okay, and now you come back and tap it. Okay, so now you make sure that you tap it. Okay, cover, and again, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. I already made the label, so you make sure that you have the date, all the ingredients. Okay, and we let this sit for 4 weeks. Okay, after 4 weeks, we strain. Okay, so now that we have the fire cider, all the ingredients together and label, so we can shake it. You can shake it if you remember every day, and when you shake it, remember what to put the love and intention. Even when you make your medicine, I'm talking and things like that because I'm showing how to make it. But even when you make it, like set the intention of being quiet and loving and sending a lot of love to the medicine for the winter. So you can shake it. Okay, so after 4 weeks, you put it away like in a cool, dark place. That's the room. If you can shake it, remember to shake it, that's good. But if not, it's not going to be the end of the world. After 4 weeks, you take it out, and then you strain it. So this is how we do a rabbit hole. Like I get this big glass bowl, and I like because it has a little, how you call it? Lip. Okay, and then a strainer over, and organic piece of cloth. Okay, and then you come and put all that thing there. You have to make sure that the cloth is big enough that that you're gonna take it carefully and then squeeze it until you get all the vinegar out, and then all the herbs stay here or in the strainer. Okay, hands has to be clean, or you can use gloves. Okay, but that's how you strain it. So once you strainer, put it away. Then you're gonna be adding honey, and like I mentioned before, raw honey, very important, the raw part, and if it's a local, even better. Okay, so I'm assuming this is probably gonna be like 3.5 cups. So I would suggest minimum of 1 cup of honey, and I would say max probably cup and a half, because you don't want it too sweet. You don't want the honey to overpower the medicine, but at the same time you want the honey also to help the medicine, because honey is also very medicinal. Okay, so that's how we make fire cider. So when you have it here and mix it with the honey and all, then you put it in I recycle the vinegar's bottle, and I put it back in here, and then I just label fire cider, honey, if you already have the honey, and the date. Or we put the date so that way you know how long has been sitting. Okay, so that's how we do it. So now let's talk real quick about what we use. We use ginger. Ginger is very antiviral. It's warming. It's good for the lungs. Help to clean up the lungs and things like that. Good for digestion. So it has a lot of benefits. Okay. Horseradish. Horseradish is it's like like really cleaning the natural. That's what was making us crying, because it had a lot of horseradish. Onion also is another one that also open up the lungs, antivirals, clean the air. That's why I left this onion here, because you can cut an onion in half to clean the air in your house. Just let it sit there. I know it's gonna smell like onion, but it's medicine. This is medicine, okay? Garlic, like everybody knows, very good for the lungs. Garlic is antibiotic, good for many things, okay? Especially raw garlic, and in this case, even though we put it in honey to get cooked, it's still like not heated up. Okay, so it's keeping all that beautiful medicine there. What was the other? Cayenne pepper is to give it that kick, also to open. Because on the winter we tend to, to shrink, to close like that cold weather. So all these things I warm here to open up, okay, and make sure that we can push things that we don't want out of the body to receive the goodness. Okay, so I mentioned the cayenne, the onion, the horseradish, the garlic, and the ginger. So I think I talked about everything. Some people you can include a pinch of oregano, like I mentioned before, or thyme, rosemary. All those are also very good for the lungs, very antibacterial, very antiseptic, something like that. So it's up to people like what flavor do they want. But this is the basic. Okay, so
here's a question: how long will this last in the refrigerator?
I would say 6 months.
Okay, 6
if
months.
not longer in the refrigerator, probably longer, because the vinegar is a preservative. Okay, plus if it's in the refrigerator, it could last you, I would say, a year. What I usually make at the beginning of the season and let it sit there, and then whenever we need it, like we were doing before, we take a shot. Or if I'm sick, then I would take a shot like a few times a day while you're sick. Yes.
Another thing. So suppose I'm making my mixture together to sit, and this is sitting in a dry place out of the sunlight. Now, suppose I forget on week 4 and it goes to week 5, and I say, "Oh, it's
That's
week
okay.
5. It's okay."
Yeah, no, that's okay. You can. We suggest up to week 4 because that's enough time for the herbs to come out. And then after that, what may happen is when you try to strain it, then the herb gonna be broken down more. So they may be more slimy and things like that. So that's the only thing. So you let it go to weeks 5 or 6, then the herb gonna break even more. But 4 so far for me has been perfect. They already the medicine is out, but in the herbs they're still a little more intact. So when I squeeze them, they're not too broken down. Okay. So one more thing before we say goodbye, one more minute, is in the winter also we tend to eat more grain. And one other thing, when we eat grain, we set grain in water the night before we're gonna cook it. So this is barley. Barley is another herb that we grain or food that we use to help clean the digestion. Okay, so we set it in water the night before eating. Same thing with seeds and nuts. Okay, this is our almonds that we're gonna be using for almonds milk. We put it in water, and then we take the skin off because the skin is more difficult for digestion. So we use the nut for milk. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that. So it was a pleasure working with all of you. Thank you so much for your attention, and hope to see you or talking to you again. So namaste. See you or talking to you again. So namaste.